Calls to order, City of Forest Park Council Work Session, November 16, 2020. We have 5 items. They're all below the line. Denise has boards and commission reappointments. We have contracts for the law director, public defender, and the magistrates that we will be doing, and an appointment to the OKI board. Does anybody have any questions about any of those? I see them as pretty much routine things that we do annually. Sometimes, I guess, in terms of boards and commissions, we do that more than annually, depending on when they expire. So, with that, yes, sir, any questions?
Not about this, but don't we have also city manager, clerk, and what's the other contract that come up at this time?
No,
I mean, they come up before the end of the year.
We have the evaluations. We don't have
evaluations.
The contract.
Right. You're right. The evaluation. Do we know when that's going to be hitting our mailboxes?
We're going to do them. They will be in your mailboxes because we'll probably be doing it at these at the first meeting in December.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Chuck, I had a question. Are there
Yes.
any other candidates that lobby for the law director or the prosecutor contract?
These are contract renewals. These we don't unless there is some reason that we would that we would advertise these out, and we don't usually. They are pretty much assignments that I would make for council approval.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, Denise.
Hello. Sorry, I'm late.
You're
Good.
fine. I take it that everybody has been well and healthy in light of all of the increased numbers that we're getting with COVID. Well, not just in Hamilton County or Ohio, but around the whole country, I guess, numbers are skyrocketing. We're doing everything that we can do. We've been asked to, by the governor and by the county, to make sure that we make people aware of the same thing we've been talking about forever. Wear your mask, social distance, stay away from crowds as much as you possibly can. We know that obviously, I expect that tomorrow at our meeting with the county, they're going to give us an update on what the additional the changes that the governor will be announcing or has announced already, and then at the governor's next press conference, he will tell us what those are again. We should be getting them obviously on hard copy within the next day or so. It's the only things that he's talked about up to now that may happen. They're all contingent upon where the numbers are, where the numbers stay, whether or not we go to a closing of restaurants and bars. I know that there have been new postings that retailers are supposed to do. Retailers have also been told that they need to be a little bit more assertive. I would use the word assertive, not aggressive, in terms of checking people who enter their businesses in terms of people wearing masks. And as I said earlier, we are trying to discourage gatherings. Right now, as of now, the 6 feet distancing is still in effect. The 10 people per group are still in effect. There have been some not some modifications, but some additions to that in terms of weddings and those kinds of things. While people will still have them, the 10-person restriction is going to go into effect for like wedding parties or after the wedding parties, in terms of how many people can be at a table. I would anticipate that unless there's a dramatic change in the numbers over the next couple of days, that you will see the governor issue an order regarding restaurants and bars. And I think you may also see some in the news. There's been a few already, some decisions being made by some school districts as to what they're going to do in relation to the spike. I know that a couple of districts already have made the decision that they will not come back at least until after the Thanksgiving break. I don't know when that will start. I believe Milford was probably the first one in our area. Don, do you have any additional information for us on that, or anything that you've learned over the last day or so?
Well, we did receive something from the Ohio Department of Health. You've been hit a lot of the high points, but you're right. It does say that kind of reiterates the same things we were doing last summer when we started this. All the public and private gatherings of greater than 10 people occurring outside of a single residence are prohibited. So, and that's consistent with what was originally done back in March. And then it does give some guidance on, obviously that doesn't, and then there's some of the things that it doesn't include. It doesn't apply to wedding ceremonies and funeral observances. So, but it gives some guidances on those types of events. You know, we are probably pretty close to going back to where we were. The city, from our response, will be much like it was last summer. In our staff meeting today, we directed all of the department heads to begin to pull out all of the documents and all of the signs and all of the equipment that we used last summer to continue to provide services and prepare to have our employees go back on those types of schedules where the majority of folks will be working from home and or on split schedules, so that we reduce the number of folks that are actually in the building on any given day. But the governor is going to issue some more orders, so we'll see what happens when he does it again.
Yeah, and in addition to what Donna said regarding the city, there will not be any face-to-face meetings permitted, and at least city-sponsored meetings, let me say it that way. We feel that we should not put our employees nor our public in harm's way. So any meetings that will be held will be virtual meetings, or those meetings will be postponed until the governor's orders either change or modified. It's just, we just feel that's the right thing to do under the circumstances. Especially, we want to be especially careful because human nature being what it is, obviously with the Thanksgiving holiday and then a little bit down the road, the winter Christmas holiday, people just naturally get together. There's still that feeling out there that these are my relatives or these are my friends, these are people that I know, so I'm not in as much danger as I would be with strangers. Medically, I think we know that's not the case, but as I said, people tend to think that way. Unfortunately, there are still people out there who don't believe that there isn't a pandemic. This is just all made up, but we'll just have to deal with it the best we can. So anybody else got any comments or anything to share with us along those lines?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
how do you want to handle court? We're scheduled for a Thursday night court.
Haven't really haven't given that any thought. John, Don, do you have any,
Well,
well, I
think
guess, John, I guess the first thing I would ask is it possible to postpone that, or have we run out of postponements, or what?
Well, under all the guidelines that have been given by the governor's office and Board of Health, we are the timeliness for required prosecution's been suspended. So
Okay.
we don't have that issue.
Okay, so what would be your suggestion, John?
Well, I have a feeling since people have already, this Thursday is tax court.
Okay,
And people have already been advised to be in court Thursday for those who show up. I think it'd be very difficult to cancel unless, people are going to show up and just see a sign on the door that it's canceled. I mean, that would be the one consideration. But in the courtroom, we probably have maybe 12 chairs set up. The only place that it gets crowded is in that little hallway by the
clerk's, yeah, where
by
the
the
clerk
clerk's
is.
office.
Yeah,
Because although we have the floor appropriately marked, that's a small hallway of a lot of people in a small space. But everybody's required to give a temperature reading before entering, and everybody's required to wear a mask. So protocol wise, we're doing all that we can.
Don, and Sally, I guess, would it do any good to like during bad weather when we contact the media and they do the running across the bottom of the screen of closings? Are we too close to Thursday for that?
I would say, I'm sure we could do that. I don't know if they could get it out. Quite honestly, I don't know if they do it for us.
Right.
To enough people. Actually, probably Facebook or some other sort of form of social media probably be more responsive or probably hit more of the folks. But I think we take a look at we had pretty good plans for it last year or earlier this summer. And I think we can look at the number of cases we have. I think we've really greatly reduced the cases. I'm not sure what the docket looks like, but John, I think we do a pretty good job of controlling that environment. Obviously, you can't be 100%, but we may be able to reduce the number of folks if we can contact them and let them know not to come. We may be able to cut that in half. I think that's limited to, I think maybe 25. I forget what the docket is, but.
Well, this is tax court Thursday, so we'll probably have 100 cases. But if more, I would say for tax court, we probably average 20 to 30 people who actually appear.
Okay.
What else
we can do about that tomorrow?
Yeah, let's Don, let's look at that first thing in the morning and see what we can do with it. After we talk to Jackie to see how many that there are there, how many we got, and how many we can maybe contact beforehand. Because we could spend the next hour talking about this and not come up with any solution. So let's just, for now, so as not to hold up the meeting any further, let's put this on the back burner until we can get together in the morning. John, we'll call you and probably talk with the judge as well, but after we talk with Jackie.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks. Okay, if there are no further comments or questions on the work session items, then I will declare that the work session is closed. And we will now move to the meeting, call to order the City of Forest Park Council meeting number 1364, November 16, 2020. Let's stand for the pledge, please. And Mr. Brown, will you do us the honors?
My flag.
Let's do the pledge.
Okay. I really got to stand up. All right, I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the
to the
flag.
flag of the United
of the
States
United
of
States
America
of America,
and to the republic
Republic
for
which
which it stands,
stands
one
one
nation,
nation
under
under
God,
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 indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with liberty,
and justice
justice
for all.
for all.
Thank you all. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Brown,
Here.
Clark,
Here.
Herbie,
Here,
Holt,
Here,
Johnson,
Here.
Moore,
Here.
Sylvester.
Here.
Let the minutes show that we're all present and accounted for. Item number 3 is presentations. We have no presentations. Well, yes, we do. We have a Business of the Month award for prizes, the martial arts. Paul is not here. I did not have anything on that. He will make sure that that is presented to that business. Okay, we will move then to item number 4, communication from the public. Don, did you receive any?
No, I did not receive any notifications or emails or any phone calls with regards to anyone who wanted to speak on any business on this agenda.
Okay, so seeing none, having none, we will move to item number 5, reports of standing committees. The first of those being Councilwoman Moore, Community Development.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do not have a report at this time.
Okay, any questions for Councilwoman Moore? Councilwoman Moore, at this time, I don't have any items on the agenda for the next work session. Do you have any to add?
No, I do not.
Next report is Human Resources, Councilwoman Holt.
I do not have a report this evening. Thank you.
Any questions for Councilwoman Holt? Okay, there are no items on the agenda for you. I don't have any to add. Sally?
Yes.
I don't know if I've got the right work agenda sheet because I don't have anything on mine, but I thought there was something on a couple of one of the committees at least.
There is an updated list for most of them. Public safety has an item and Ways and Means has several items.
Okay, so let's see. The next report would be the Law Committee. Mr. Brown.
I do not have anything to report at this time.
Questions for Mr. Brown? Mr. Brown, there are no items for you. Do you have any to add?
No.
The next committee report is Public Improvement and Facilities, Mr. Sylvester.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have a report at this time.
Thank you. Any questions for Mr. Sylvester? Hearing none, Mr. Sylvester, I don't have any items for you as well. Next report is Public Safety, Councilwoman Clark.
you're on mute, Chelsea.
Sorry about that. Sally, I think I'm allowed to announce that meeting. That's the one that was on the,
Yes.
okay. So we are confirmed for a public safety meeting with police and fire for Friday, December 4th. It will be it'll be virtually accessible, of course, and then the core of us will meet in the City Hall in room 3B, and the time on that meeting is 11 a.m.
Okay, any questions for public safety? Hearing none. We will then go to the next committee report, Ways and Means, Councilwoman Herbie.
Yes, just an update on what's going on in economic development and environmental. The economic development director is moving ahead on a redevelopment project on Promenade. We've applied for a grant from Vibrant Communities Initiative put together by Jobs Ohio and have engaged a private sector developer for that. The next gen facility for the library is moving ahead. It's slated to begin work in 2023, but we're seeing if that can't be advanced to 2022. We also have marketers for city-owned properties. In the environmental awareness area, their tree delivery took place for our Reforesting Forest Park program on October 13th. 81 trees were distributed. We are waiting for favorable prices before we move ahead on gas aggregation. And People Working Cooperatively is teaming with the Environmental Awareness Program for a 5th year to help clean gutters and rake yards for approximately 25 Forest Park homes. And that will take place over 2 weekends in November. And that would conclude my report.
Questions? Hearing none, Sally, would you read off that list of items that for Ways and Means for the next work session?
Yes. 2021 budget, 2020 budget amendment, 2021 salary resolution, and 2021 fee ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Next report is Intergovernmental Relations and Communications. That's my committee. I have no report. Would answer any questions if there are any. At this time, I would just say that unless there are some other items that would come up, the next work session will probably be like this one. It will be placed on the agenda before the regular council meeting rather than on the 23rd. However, I would also like to inform you that on the 23rd, there will be a public hearing through Mr. Anderson's office regarding regarding a recommendation from the Planning Commission for zoning change. That will be a virtual meeting as well, so council members will get the information where you can sign on for the meeting. There are no other questions or comments, then we'll move to item number 6, the mayor's report. I don't have any additional reports or information other than what I've said already. And if there are any changes or whatever the changes are that we get from the upcoming meetings with the County Board of Health as well as the Governor's Office, we will pass that on. And we'll see what impact they may or may not have on how the city is doing business or may have to continue to do business. But as I said earlier, so that the public will be aware, we will be discontinuing meetings in the city hall, in the city building. Those be any further meetings up until further notice will be virtual meetings. And we're doing this obviously for the safety of the public as well as the safety of our employees. That will conclude my report. I'll answer any questions if there are any.
I just have 2 additions. COVID is still, as you've just mentioned, really wreaking havoc. And so the Kemper Road Christian Church, which is on the corner of Kemper Road and Hanover, it's at 10159, will have a Thanksgiving meal giveaway this weekend only. Okay, there's only going to be 100 meals. There will be all sorts of different fixings for Thanksgiving that is drive-through style. It is Saturday, November 21st, which is this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. First come, first serve. Now this one is a day before, and so we are taking. I will drive a van and pick up anyone that messages me. Cincinnati Reds Youth Academy at 2026 East Seymour Avenue on this Friday, November 20th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. They are giving away holiday boxes with turkey, chicken, and other foods, as well as fresh produce. And so we will run over there on Friday morning to pick up. You can email me at chelsnuss@gmail.com and we'll make sure that you get something.
Okay. Any further business? Hearing none, we will go to item number 7, the city manager's report. Mr. Jones.
Well, we did speak a little bit earlier about the new director's orders from the Ohio Department of Health. I'll touch on them again in case there's some viewers who just tuned in for the meeting. Again, we expect these to be updated again later this week when the governor decides to come forward with some more rulings. Essentially, what they've done is they've continued the guidance from March 16th of 2020, which restates that all public and private gatherings of greater than 10 people occurring outside a single residence are prohibited. So basically, any of those large public gatherings, again, are going to be prohibited. The only ones that are the exceptions to that are wedding ceremonies and funeral observances. And there are specific guidance on how to handle the wedding receptions and so forth. So we will post that guidance on our website when we receive further guidance from the county or from the state. We'll also post that as well. Again, we want to remind folks that obviously Thanksgiving's coming up. It's a time when many people get together, and whether it's aunts, uncles, cousins, grandma, grandpa, be careful when you have these large groups. This is where this virus is spreading. It's spreading among family groups. It's being brought in. No matter how much you think you know where your family has been, or where your cousin's been, or where your aunt's been, or where your grandfather's been, you really don't. And please, if they're not in the same household, use caution. You wear masks and keep that social distancing. Wash your hands. All of the same things that we were told to do last summer. We really need to make a point of doing it right now as the number of cases begins to explode across the county and the state and across the country. So be careful on these holidays and be observant of the things that you need to do to keep those who are the most vulnerable, the grandmas, grandpas, aunts, uncles, the older folks, keep them safe and remember that they're the ones who you're protecting. Also, getting a little bit, we are ready to, based on the governor's warnings and some of the other things we're getting, and we're making preparations that we can continue to provide services here at the city. We will maintain police, fire, and all other services as best we can, like we did last summer. We will schedule people to work from home. We'll be scheduling staggered start times, staggered days, so that we can continue to provide the services that the citizens need and want. So that's important for the citizens to know that we're not going to be shut down here. There may not be people in the building, but the services will continue. Our monthly reports are available, and for anyone that wants to see them, they are published now. And I would just say that again, this is Veterans Day week, sorta. But we want to make sure that this is the first time we've had a chance to say a thank you to our veterans, and to make sure that everyone remembers their service and their sacrifice. And if you have any questions, I'm glad to answer any questions.
Any questions for city manager? I have no questions for the city manager. One other thing that's been talked about, and perhaps Councilwoman Moore could help us with this a little bit. It has been one of the things that has started to be said repeatedly lately is about the fact that as the weather gets colder, people tend to stay in more, and the air quality inside buildings is one of the things that can cause problems with the virus also. So there are recommendations out there that when you can, you should, you need to get outside. We're not talking about outside in groups here. We're talking about, get out, go out on the porch, walk around a little bit and go back in so that there's that flow. Especially, we know that in some of our older homes, the air quality and ventilation is not as good as it should be. Rather than, is there anything that you can talk about that for us?
No, I think you summed it up pretty well. Just, researchers, they're finding that it lingers on indoors more than they anticipated it would do. And so, but of course, we don't have a lot of information because we're still learning about this virus. But yes, so you are correct. They're finding that it does live longer. It has a longer life indoors. And so, if you can do activities, do them outside, social distancing, and staying within the small gatherings. So you are correct.
Okay, we will next move to the next item, other reports. The first of those being our law director, Mr. Wyckoff.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. As some of you, and probably all of you know, a few years ago, the state legislative body created a system by which business taxes would be collected by the state, then distributed back to the cities. On top of that, the cities would get charged an administrative fee. The Supreme Court of Ohio recently ruled that the centralized collection of those taxes is permissible, but the charging of a fee to the cities is not. So it appears, because that's our final court in Ohio, it appears that our business tax collections will actually be done in a centralized fashion and then would be distributed to us by the state. Also, since the last meeting, we had discussed enforceability of the director of, or health director's rules and regulations. And when I got back to the office, I was looking through all of my work from last year to prepare my attorney report for past year. And I saw that I had sent Mr. Jones an opinion that I completely forgot about back in March. So I resent that opinion. I'm looking for double credit on doing the same. But other than that, I have nothing else to report. I would be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Mr. Wyckoff?
I'll follow up a little bit on that. The part of the governor's discussion has been that, in terms of enforceability, and and we'll be, tomorrow I'll be talking to our economic development director, Paul, and have him reach out to the business community and make sure that they're aware that the governor is going to be sending inspectors around, for lack of a better term, to quote unquote advise and or report on businesses that may not be in compliance with his mask mandates or the sign mandate. So we're going to make sure that our businesses are aware of that and that they could be shut down for up to a day as a result of this. So we want to make sure that our folks understand that. In terms of our police department and so forth, we're not going to be involved with that, but there will be other types of inspectors that will be out. So we'll make sure that and everybody should wear a mask anyway. And it's been it's been pretty common. I think most folks are pretty well aware of that now. So I haven't been in a business yet that didn't have a sign out there that didn't require it. In fact, I don't think I'd go in a business that didn't require it, quite honestly. So we'll make sure that our businesses are aware that there will be, folks, inspectors that from the state or from the county that will be tasked with monitoring their compliance.
I don't think having the sign there is the problem. The problem is, are they enforcing it inside? That's what I run into.
Correct.
Okay, I will just add that I've noted that a a few businesses in Forest Park have gone to the, if you all can remember, those of us who are old enough, there used to be a sign that says no shoes, no shirts, no service. A couple of our businesses have done that. No mask, no service. I noted it especially. I think the first one I saw was at the McDonald's down on Smiley, off Smiley, over by the BP station, and they do pretty well enforce that. A couple of people got turned away because they didn't have a mask. They didn't like it, but they went back out to their cars and got the mask, and what it amounted to. Okay, the next report is the clerk of council, Ms. Boyd.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd like to report that ordinance number 24-2020 and resolution numbers 40-2020 through 44-2020 were posted as required. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for clerk of council? Hearing none, thank you, ma'am. Next item is item number 9. New business, is there a motion? Yes, ma'am.
I would move to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate days and read for the first time by title only ordinances number 25-2020 and 26-2020.
Second.
Moved and seconded that we suspend the rules requiring the reading in full on 2 separate occasions and read for the first time by title only ordinances number 25 and 26-2020. Is there any discussion?
Just posted as required.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, would the clerk please call the roll on the motion to suspend?
Brown,
Yes.
Clark,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. Next item is item A, ordinance number 25-2020. Would the clerk please read this ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 25-2020, an ordinance appointing John R. Wyckoff, attorney at law, as solicitor, law director, and prosecutor, and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the provision of legal services.
Okay, is this, Sally, this is the first reading? Are we voting on this one tonight?
Not tonight, first reading.
Thank you. Okay, we will then move to item B, ordinance number 26-2020. Would the clerk please read that ordinance by title only?
Ordinance number 26-2020, an ordinance appointing Darren E. Nye, attorney at law, as public defender and authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract for the provision of legal services.
Is there, this is also a first reading,
Yes.
so it will be voted on at the next meeting of the council. We will now move down to item C. Before that, there's a motion. Yes, ma'am.
I would move to suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read resolution number 45-2020 by title only.
Second.
Moved and second that we suspend the rules requiring the reading in full and read resolution number 45-2020 by title only. Is there any discussion?
Just posted as required.
Hearing enough, any further discussion? Hearing now, will the clerk call the roll on the motion?
Clark,
Yes.
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Okay, the motion to suspend the rules passed 7-0. Item C, resolution number 45-2020. Will the clerk please read this resolution by title only?
Resolution number 45-2020, authorizing and directing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Deborah K. Brown Gaines to serve as magistrate of the City of Forest Park Mayor's Court.
The chair, I would move to adopt resolution number 26-2020.
Second.
Been moved and seconded that we adopt resolution 45-2020. For discussion, this is the standard annual resolution that we passed to for the contract for the magistrate. And this is a one-year contract, and of course, the resolution and the contract have a provision whereby at the discretion of either party, the agreement may be terminated with a 30-day notice. So I would urge the passage of this resolution. There's no other discussion. Would the clerk please call the roll?
Herbie,
Yes.
Holt,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Moore,
Yes.
Sylvester,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Clark.
Resolution 45-2020 passes 7-0. Next item is item D, is a motion for reappointment. Councilwoman Holt.
I would like to make a motion to appoint the following individuals to their respective board and commissions.
Second.
Been moved and second that we reappoint the following commissioners to the respective boards and commissions. Is there any discussion of the motion? Councilwoman Holt.
The members are Lois Chambers, the Beautification Commission, expire 11/30/23. Linda McIntyre, Beautification Commission, expiring 11/30/23. Melanie Veal, Civil Service Commission, expiring 11/30/23. Richard Bedford, Economic Development Commission, expiring 11/30/23. Ronald Johnson, Economic Development Commission, expiring 11/30/23. George Cummings, Environmental Awareness Board of Directors, expiring 11/30/23. Susan Anufora, Environmental Awareness Board of Directors, expiring 11/30/23. Sherman Bradley, Planning Commission, expiring 11/30/25. Reginald Sylvester, Recreation Commission, expiring 11/30/23. And Joshua Schiffer, Stormwater Utility Board, expiring 11/30/24.
Is there any
And
other?
that,
Go ahead.
and that is the end of the list.
Any other comments or discussion? Hearing none, all-
My only question isn't, so when we reappoint those folks, are they sending in a request to continue with their position on each of those commissions? Or is it just?
It's my
Sally?
understanding that a letter goes out to them, correct, Sally? And they're
Yes.
asked if they want to continue, correct, Sally?
Yes. Now, this year letter didn't go out, but I did call each person to verify that they wanted, generally a letter goes out. But I did call to see if each person wanted to be reappointed.
Any further discussion?
Yeah, I don't know if I missed it, but on my list, I have Dorothy Kitchens also for Civil Service Commission. And I don't think I heard that name. It was
Now,
right
Dorothy,
after. I'm sorry.
Dorothy Kitchens did not want to be reappointed.
Oh, okay. All right, just making sure. And also, just really quick, on any of these commissions, are there any current vacancies, or are these reappointments or appointments filling vacant spots?
Now, these are, I'm sorry.
Sally, go ahead. Denise or Sally?
These are spaces that they were already on the board or commission. Their terms were expiring at the end of the month.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided to do another 3, 4, or 5-year term.
Okay. Are there any vacancies on any of these commissions? And are they posted anywhere?
I can check we'll have to update everything because a couple of people did come off. So we'll have to update it and we'll get it on the website.
Okay. There have been a number of residents asking me about commissions, and I was like, I'm not entirely certain where they would be posted or if there are any vacancies currently, but I just wanted to know.
Yes, they're usually on the website. Well, they're always on the website, but we
Right.
just updated the website and gone through a couple of changes. So we'll get it updated.
Okay.
And in addition to that, Denise, the Chair of Human Resources, when that list is available or when those positions are available, she makes note of that in her report on the committee reports when we at our meetings.
Right.
There are a number of ways that that is announced to the public. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion to reappoint, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
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 Opposed? The motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda, item E, is a motion from the chair. I move to reappoint or to appoint or reappoint Rosalind Moore to OKI Board of Trustees for the term commencing 1/8/21.
Second.
Okay.
Moved and second for the reappointment to OKI. I have no discussions except Rosalind, keep doing it. Any further discussions? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is a motion for general fund. Councilman Urban.
I would move to receive the general fund summary report as contained in the departmental reports.
Second.
Been moved and second that we receive the general fund summary report as contained in the departmental reports. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion to approve the general fund summary, let it be known by the sign of voting aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. That's the end of the list of items on the agenda. I would say again, number one, thank you all for being present. Thank the public for those who was able to join us, and ask you all to be safe. And to Mr. Wyckoff and Mr. Jones, we will make sure we take care of the upcoming court thing tomorrow so that we can do whatever decision is made, we'll get it out in a timely manner. If there's no other business, I will adjourn the council meeting. Reggie, I'm going to be giving you a call shortly. Okay?
Okay, all right.
If there's no other business, we're adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Everybody.